The infamous Soul Train Awards, 1996. It was the first time that Tupac and Biggie saw each other after Tupac had gotten released from prison. Can you give me a detailed account of what happened the night of the Soul Train Awards, in the sense of, at what point did you guys know you were going to go? At what point did you know what the plan was going to be? At what point did you get all the sweatshirts for people? Like, how did all the planning go into that? And then how did everything escalate in detail on that night?
So what happened on that? I mean, there were plans of going and then not going, to be honest. Suge wanted Tupac to open up the Soul Train Music Awards. He felt Tupac should have been over. It was on the West Coast. Tupac had just won the, no. But anyway, had the great album out, Me Against the World. And so Suge felt that Tupac should have opened up, had All Eyes Out on Me blowing up at the time. That's only 2 or 3 months in of All Eyes on Me being out. But but Biggie was also hot. And quite frankly, had a better year in 95, which was what the award show was for. Even though it happened in 96, it was really for songs that was done in 95. Y'all got to admit, Biggie album was better than, I don't know, I ain't going to say. In my opinion, Biggie album was getting more radio play and more traction than Me Against the World. My opinion. I'm sure a lot of y'all going to tear me up about that. And so Don Cornelius, I guess, agreed. He felt Biggie, him performing, opening up the show would be best. And Suge wanted Tupac to open up the show. So Suge was like, we ain't going, because they were saying Tupac can close the show, be the closing act there. Because he definitely wasn't going to go after Biggie. So the big things in the award shows, for y'all don't know, back then, I don't know the game now, so I don't know. But was the opening act usually get the most views, and the closing act usually get, to close out the show usually be good. But as we always know, they end up rushing you and cutting you off because, especially on black shows, they usually run over the time. But anyway, so Suge was like, I ain't going. And then he was like, okay, we going. And so he told Don Cornelius, kept blowing him up. You gonna do the show? You gonna do the show? I got a special surprise for you. You gonna be happy, young man? That's how Don Cornelius talk. You gonna be happy if you come? So she was like, okay, I'm gonna come. I'm not the one, I'm gonna be honest. That was a guy named Victor Welch. I don't know who thought of getting the t-shirts or the P-Funk on sweat tops done. I don't know. But I know Victor Welch was the one that rounded up and got a whole bunch of the Pyrus and the Bloods from Compton to come. And all those niggas showed up to the office and had those shirts and was wearing those shirts. I was like, damn, it's gonna be ugly. And so that's when I learned, I learned that they were planning on being chaotic at that particular show. Quite frankly, the plan was to pull Biggie off the stage while he was performing. I'm not saying anything will happen, just to pull him off the stage wearing those particular shirts. And so I kind of got word of that. Me and the guy that kind of ran the security at the Shrine Auditorium was kind of cool. Plus I was cool. I'm cool with the Muslims, Shaheed and Minister Oliver, who's out there in Atlanta now. Shout out Oliver, I heard you out in Atlanta now. Got a little chapel or something like that, captain out in Atlanta now. And so I was like, hey, don't let all those niggas in at one time that's wearing those shirts. It ain't gonna be nice. So I'm still, got a little police in me and stuff like that. And so now we pull up to the award show in the back now, because those niggas is not smart, or they wouldn't been smart. They all thought everybody Don Cornelius was going to let us all just drive on the back lot of that show. He's like, oh, no. This your security and the artists coming in. Everybody else got to go park in the, general admission and parking. So they all had to turn around, go and get in the parking. But by that time, Suge in his Hummer, he got, I think, Danny Boy and some of the Outlaws and Pac in the Hummer. And it's just me and Frank. I'm riding with Frank in this car, Frank Alexander. And in his little 300, I think he was either in his 300, he had a 300Z and a Mercedes he had won from a bodybuilding contest. And so we drive in behind them. And immediately as we pulling up and getting to where, you get out of your cars and walk up, Biggie and Puff, Gene says no. I know Puff when I see Puff. I may not know Keefy and C. Gutter or whatever his name is. Well, I know Puffy and Biggie. They walking out our location. We see them. Now, Gene admit now, you remember in our interview, he said he put him in a chokehold or had him, hiding in a closet or standing there. Now, he's admitting that Puffy ran. I don't know if y'all caught that, but he's saying Puffy did take him and run in between some trailers and stuff like that. Like I said, Puff did. But anyway, they come, and I always told y'all what Biggie did. Biggie just stood there. He didn't run or anything. And so now we have this confrontation. We jump out of the car, and one of the guys who, I agree with Gene now. If Gene said it, the guy said it. I always said it was Keefy D with him. Keefy said he wasn't there. Gene said it. Gene don't say he wasn't there. He just said it wasn't Keefy D that pulled the gun out. He said it was a guy named C. Gutter. I'll give him that. But I know the dude didn't raise that gun. He pulled it out and kept it down low. Me, I got my gun out, pointed at him, telling him, dog, don't raise that gun, because if he raised that gun, he's getting popped that night. And so, Pac behind me, of course, trying to wrestle me with the gun, talking about shoot him, Red, shoot him. Like I said, Biggie Small didn't move. He just stood there. Now, the joke was always, yeah, the nigga too fat because he couldn't move. But shit, when you see a gun pointed at you, I don't care how fat or how big or how crippled you are, you're going to get away. So I always put it that, Big had a little heart right there. And so, yeah, that's what happened. Oh, Pac eventually goes inside the auditorium. This is where it get crazy when my boy said, and I don't know how he able to say that, because they left immediately. He always say, we jumped in the limousines and left. I'm talking about Gene and all of them. They got in limos and left. But then he's able to tell you, oh, Pop went on the stage. He got the gun. He got his award that night. Well, we got video evidence all throughout there that said, what? Pac was not here. He was unable to attend. And we accept this award on his behalf. That's on the internet. For those of y'all say, Reggie Line, there go Reggie Line again. Okay, go pull that up. My point is, what I know has happened is Pac and Suge walked around the auditorium, Pac yelling, West Side, West Side, West Side, in his fatigues and stuff, walked all around in a circle at the auditorium and came straight out and got escorted out, and we left the Shrine Auditorium that night without any further incident and went to our after party we had.